Hey, I'll just start tomorrow. So go ahead and just hand over those nachos. I've got a lot of stuff going on this weekend and, I'm going to bake bread and stuff. So I'm going to start Monday. Next month will be better because I've been really busy and I'm really tired. So I think next month I'll feel stronger and ready to start. Hey, January 1st is coming up. I think I'm going to start January 1st. Or maybe June 1st. June 1st in time for bikini season.
We're walking and talking. We're walking and talking. We're walking and talking. We're walking and talking with Helen Ryan.
Okay, so we're going to set out walking. Just fairly slow. Relax your body. Just going to give yourselves a warm-up. Just not too hard, not too fast. Just relax your body. So as always, we're walking outside. You're going to hear outside noises. You're going to hear dogs, cars, sometimes airplanes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Just relax your upper body. Pick up just a little bit of pace. You always want to walk with intention. Be strong and, of course, always be vigilant. Because you never know, right? So today we're going to talk about getting started. We're going to walk and talk at the same time. I'm going to cue you to walk, and then I'm going to cue you when we're going to speed up or slow down. So now a little bit faster. So when you breathe in, I want you to kind of relax your tummy a little bit, fill up your lungs all the way. Then you're going to exhale, pull that tummy tighter when you exhale. If you can, you're going to lift your pelvic floor too. And that's how you want to breathe. Get nice deep breaths, really fill up those lungs. So one of the hardest things with anything, not just weight loss or exercise, is getting started. We always wait until Monday or we wait until next month. So I'm not a big fan of New Year's resolutions because, we start out really, really strong and then within 3 weeks, well, for me it was always like 3 days, but most people last like 3 weeks. Then you just can't stick with it anymore because it was just too hard and because you started too strong. So getting started is always the most difficult because you have to make a lot of choices in the beginning, and that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is that you're getting started with. So a little bit faster now. Deep, deep breath in. You want to have nice, strong legs. Shoulders are relaxed. The best way to get started is to start with baby steps. And I say that all the time, and I write about it all the time, because that's really what works. For some people, they do well with, for example, a more strict diet plan or a more strict workout regimen. Some people need a little more flexibility, and some people need to start really, really small. So you want to figure out what works for you. And again, that applies to everything in life. If you wanted to go ahead and, get a PhD, you wouldn't immediately jump into advanced physics when, you're 20 years old. So you want to start with the lower classes, easier classes, and that's the same thing you want to do when you're getting started with weight loss or getting fitter. A little bit faster still now. Just make sure your upper body is relaxed. Hands are soft too. We tend to tense up our hands, so we want to make sure they're nice and relaxed. So my favorite saying is to take baby steps. And with baby steps, it allows you to make little movements towards your goal. Kind of similar to what I talked about in the motivation episode, except you're actually going to make concrete steps that will be, a little bit smaller and then get a little bit bigger as you go along. A little bit faster still. And that's the way that I lost weight, was starting with baby steps. Now, sometimes I overreach, like when one of the first bicycle rides I did after I lost weight, I went with a group of spinning instructors, and I bought a mountain bike. I don't know why they sold it to me. I bought it, and I thought, well, I'm a spinner. Of course I can go on this bike ride up the side of a mountain. So, needless to say, that was a very painful 2 hours, and within 20 minutes, my thighs had burned out because I was muscling my way up the hill. I didn't really know how to bicycle properly, and so I continued on because that's who I am and that's what I wanted to do. And I cried. It was so hot. It was July, I was foaming at the mouth, and one of my fellow spinning instructors, he actually pushed my bike for part of the way with me on it, pushed my bike with me off it, and I just kept going and crying and working my way to the top. So it took 2 hours instead of like an hour and a half it should have. That was not baby steps. That's not what you want to do, because I was wrecked. By the time I was done, I got back home, I was wrecked for like 3 days because I'd put so much effort into it and I wasn't ready for that type of effort. So I'm still trying to, learn not to go like 100% all in. I'll tell you another story about that as we progress. A little bit faster now. I want you to make sure your feet are not tight, like your toes are not gripping your shoes. You want to try to take any tension out of your body that doesn't belong there. Say bye-bye, goodbye. So have nice, strong legs and walk with intention. Swing your arms. Deep, deep, deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And just take this moment for you. This is your time. This is your time to take care of yourself and to feel good and to connect with your body. So for getting started, for example, if you want to lose weight, the best way is just to make small changes in the beginning. For example, half all the food that you eat. So if you normally eat this portion, take half, put it in a container, put it away. Same thing if you're out at a restaurant, you get to go, take half of it, put it away. Because that way you're still eating the foods that you like, but you're not going overboard and you're only eating until you feel full. If it's in front of you, at least if it's in front of me, I'm going to still eat it. Because it's usually really good. And I'm not that good of a cook. So if I get something from somewhere else, I'm usually going to try to eat the whole thing. So that would be a really good first start. Second start would be adding a little more vegetables. So try to think of ways where you could add vegetables into your diet, whether it be like a vegetable soup or a nice big salad. Gotta watch that dressing though, because that dressing could have so many calories, you might as well eat that brownie fudge sundae. Okay, a little bit faster now. You want to be a little bit uncomfortable with your pace, but still focus on your breathing, nice and deep. Another way that you can make little baby steps is to try to drink a lot more water. Drink a lot more water throughout the day. You can also drink green tea. You can drink soda water is my favorite. A lot of people can't drink soda water, but I love the bubbles and they make me more full. So those would be some great things to get you started. With exercise, start out with something that you can do, like walking with me. You can walk. Walking is great exercise. As you get stronger, you can actually buy a weighted vest. Weighted vests are really good because they add that little extra weight to you. Carry a child on your back. That would be really good. Or I bought a backpack for the cat. She hasn't gone in it yet, but I could add her to my back. Okay, a little bit faster. Really be strong in those legs. And then shake out your hands a little bit as you walk. If anybody looks at you, just shake your booty at the same time. Pretend you're doing a little dance, like jazz hands. A little bit faster. If you find any stairs around, you can just fly up and down those a little bit. That'll really get your heart rate up. Another thing that you can do to get started with exercise is just to set a timer. Now, I talked about that in the motivation episode, but actually set a timer for like 15 or 20 minutes, because that's a really good starting point for exercise. And then you try to do something during that 15 or 20 minute period. There are tons of videos on YouTube that are really good that are 15 or 20 minutes, and you can do anything in 15 or 20 minutes, really. You can also string those together. I call them blocks. So I have food blocks and I have exercise blocks, which I have a guide on my blog, which is a free guide that you can download. And I'll talk about the exercise blocks and about the food blocks. But I find, because when I'm busy, I'm intrinsically lazy, even though I work really hard. I know that doesn't make any sense. But sometimes I'm like, she's super lazy, yow. Temptations sing, wah, 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 wah. By the way, if you're a 70s person, you will stop there. If you're an 80s person, you will go, okay, a little bit faster if you can. Remember to take a deep breath in, relax your stomach a little bit. Exhale, stomach comes tight, you can lift your pelvic floor. So you want to really fill up those lungs and expel that air. Really get nice deep breaths in. So committing to yourself is the most important thing, really the most important part of getting started with anything. Because we often just let ourselves down. We often have too high expectations. And if you're anything like I am or I have been, I always let myself down. I always failed myself. So in the back of my mind, I knew that I could expect failure. But I think it's important to really have a little chat with yourself and write down some things that you can do to have little successes, and the little successes build into bigger successes. Because when a lot of us who would try to diet or try to exercise and we just can never stick with it, we really feel this sense of failure. And then that's what we expect from ourselves. So you can do some small things that will give you some more successes in the success column. If you look at it like a scale at a supermarket, or the old-fashioned scale or the scale of justice, the failures that we have, not just with this, but with a lot of things, sometimes the failures really outweigh the successes. So the failure side of the scale gets heavier, and then the success side gets lighter. So we want to start filling up little successes. And we want to go balance that scale, and even better if we can, bring the successes heavier than the failures. Okay, we're going to do a few little type intervals, no running, just walking. I'm going to cue you on these. So you're going to try to walk faster for 20 seconds. Now, partially through that 20 seconds, if you can just pick up even a little more pace, and then you slow it down to the 20-second mark, we'll recover, and we'll start again. So ready? Everything relaxed? Even your face. Get set, and go. A little bit faster now. Good. Okay, if you can, don't trip. A little faster. Go a little more, almost there. Almost there. Now relax, slow it down just a little bit, not all the way, but just enough to where you can kind of recover your breathing. We're not going to rest too long, because here we go again. A little bit faster. Walk faster. Relax those hands. Faster. Okay, a little bit more. Here we go. We're almost there. Push it. And relax a little bit more. Deep breath in. Okay, one more time. Go. Faster. Faster. Good. Strong legs. Feel that body move. Make sure you're breathing. Okay, we're almost there. A little bit faster. Now slow it down. There's one more coming up right now. Go. Did I trick you? Faster. Faster. Feel that body strong. The body's strong. You're moving. You're feeling great. A little bit more. If no one's looking, even if someone's looking, put a smile on your face. Smile. There you go. Ready? And slow it down. Now we're going to take a little bit more recovery from this. Deep breath in. And exhale. So one of the things in my life was that I was a constant failure. And I set myself up for failure because I didn't believe in myself. So I dropped out of high school. I went to college, but I dropped out of high school. And I also dropped out of college because I used the excuse. I was working 2 jobs and going to school, and so I was tired. But really, that wasn't an excuse because I expected myself to fail. And I pretty much failed at anything that I did. And I set myself up to fail because that way I can prove to myself that I was a failure. So after my father passed away, which in the episode 2, you can hear more about that. And I started to do a little more, self-care, and I started to walk a little bit and eat a little healthier. I started to do these little things that were successful. Not this up the mountain thing. That was crazy. But just normal before that all happened. So when I would like consistently walk the kids to school, being consistent with that little thing made me feel successful. And it was something that I incorporated as part of my life. And then I tried, for example, that first spinning class that I also talked about. Okay, a little bit faster now. Really feel those legs are strong. Deep, deep breath in. Pump those arms. Hold that pace for a little bit. So then eventually, I started consistently take spinning classes. And I always pick like the hardest instructors because, I'm just weird like that. And so there was one thing, what we called it running. We were out of the saddle and then going really fast. And as I got in better shape, I could do that longer and longer. And that was like another success in the success column for me. Eventually, I got certified to teach spinning, which was huge for me because I've never finished anything in my life. And I finished this certification. I did the studying. I went to the workshop and then I took the test and another success. Hold on to your pace if you can. Be a little uncomfortable. If you're not uncomfortable, just pick up a little more pace. Then I studied for months and months and months to take my ACE personal trainer exam. That was really hard. And I felt like I wasn't prepared. And I went in there. I had to drive all the way to UCLA, take the paper test. Every time I had to pee, which is like every 10 minutes, I had to show my ID. They were really strict. I was sure that I failed. And we didn't get the results right away. It took like 3 weeks. And then when I passed, I was like shocked. Because in my heart, I thought for sure I failed because it was really, really, really hard. A lot of math. I'm not good with math. Okay, now back off just a little bit. Not too much, just a little bit. Shake everything out. Feel for tense spots in your body. Make sure that your back is not tightening up. Your shoulders are down and relaxed. Sometimes when we're working, we tend to bring our shoulders up. So kind of bring them down in their sockets. Doing something like that, doing something that's so big in your own mind, really just changes you as a person inside. So you start small, and then you start little by little adding more successes into that column. Good. Stay with your pace now. Hands are relaxed. Relax your feet even as you're working. Nice deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. So with exercise, there are a lot of things that you can do to give yourself those little successes. For example, let's say you can only plank for 5 seconds. So you plank for 5 seconds, but you practice every week. And then suddenly you're up to 10 seconds. And then suddenly you're up to 15 seconds. That's really measurable. And that's the kind of thing that will really help build up the success in your mind. That's why spinning was really good for me and really good for a lot of people. Because with spinning, you really see your improvements quickly. And they're pretty measurable because 1 class you can't stand, 2 classes later you're standing. And that's like a huge thing. So you want to try to do physical successes that are measurable to you. It's a little bit hard if you're hiking because there could be different variables that make it a little more difficult. So like maybe it's been raining, the ground is soft, or you never know. So then that's a little bit harder to measure. But try to do some things that are more measurable to you because those little successes all add up in the end. And that's what's going to change you. And that's how you're going to make things happen. If you can, just go a little bit faster. Legs are strong. Squeeze your glutes. Keep those shoulders down. So the first thing you can do with exercise, other than just starting with a 15 or 20-minute video, is you can mark on the calendar, but not the way I used to mark on the calendar. Mark on the calendar or in a little notebook what you plan to do that week. And make sure it's doable. So don't say 5 3-hour classes. I don't think so. We've only done a 3-hour spin once, and that was really hard. So maybe don't do okay, I'm going to go to 5 1-hour classes this week if it's really not feasible. But you can put in a 20-minute walk. You can put in, I'm going to do this 20-minute video. And I have actually, you can download the template on my blog. I have a template with these little blocks. And so for the week, it's free. You can just download it at realworldweightloss.com. And it says free weight loss course. And in those little blocks, you can fill out what you're going to do. But you can actually do twofold. You can fill out maybe one color ink what your plan is, and then another color ink what you actually did. But then also make some backup ideas for yourself. Okay, so maybe you want to go to Zumba. Okay, that's your plan. You know Zumba 3 days this week. But what if you can't go to Zumba? So what you want to do is make a backup plan. Can you walk for 10 minutes and then maybe do 10 minutes of core work? You make that backup plan, because if you say you're going to go to Zumba and you don't go to Zumba, you're going to feel bad about yourself. When you feel bad about yourself, you're not going to keep up with it. You have to build those successes. Okay, if you can, we're going to do a few more of the little faster sprints. I got to throw them in when you're not expecting it. Deep breath in. You ready? Let's go faster. Here we go. Pick up that pace now. Remember, strong legs. Deep breaths in and out. Push it. Good. Push it. Feel how good your body feels when it's moving. Push it. Now relax a little bit. You know the drill now. Deep, deep breath in. And one more time, pick up that pace. Don't care if people are looking at you. You know what? You're doing something. If they're not, then poo on them. A little bit faster. A little bit faster. And slow it down. What I could do is threaten to sing if you don't work hard, as hard as you want to work, right? Because then you would immediately work really hard. Because I'm not a good singer, but when I teach spin, I sing in class because they're stuck and they'd have to get off the bike and ruin their spin class. So I have a captive audience. Get ready one more time. Pick up that pace. Pump those arms. Strong, 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 strong. And then slow it back down. Okay, now we're going to play a little game. You ready? I'm just going to randomly make you go faster. Okay, go. Faster. Go, 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 go. But watch where you're going. Go, go. Stop. 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 Slow down. Deep breath in. Oh, go again. Quicker, quicker, quicker. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Chop, chop. And slow it down. I tricked you. Go. Faster. Faster. Stay with it. And slow it down. So think what else that you can do to start. And make a list of the things that you want to accomplish, but don't look at the bigger goals. You want to look at, smaller goals, because you want to build those successes. You can even reward yourself. I think I wrote a blog post a long time ago called Paying Yourself to Exercise, which every time you exercise, you could put some money in, not in the bank, because you can take it out and spend on other things. Oh, go faster. I lied. Go, go, go. I tricked you. Go, go, faster. I want to see if you're paying attention. Faster. Faster. A little bit faster. You're almost there. And relax. I do that to my class when I teach spin. I'm so mean. They're like not expecting it, and I go scare them. But they come back, so whose fault is that? Not mine. Okay, one more time. Go faster, faster. Pump those arms. Remember, relax all the stuff that's not working. A little bit more. You got it. You got it. And slow it down. But not too much. You're going to still be, at a little bit of a working level, but so you'd be able to breathe and talk if someone was with you. So yes, paying yourself to work out. That's really good. You can have like a little piggy bank of some sort, or preferably glass that you can see it. You could put money in there every time you exercise. And even if it's only 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, people who have really demanding jobs, it's really hard for them to find the time to work out. So you can use that as a way, just to motivate yourself and to get started with it. After a while, you won't need to use all these tricks. But in the beginning, you're going to need that because you're going to have to build the successes. Okay, a little bit faster, but we're not going to sprint. Like speedy, like that motorcycle that went zipping up there. And just kind of relax your hands, relax your feet. A lot of times we grip with our toes, like I said, and then your feet get tense. So just kind of relax those. So even if you're working on other things other than weight loss or exercise, do the same thing. Start with the smaller steps, but then make yourself accountable to yourself, but make sure that they're milestones that you're going to actually reach, and then give yourself a backup option. You have to have backup option because life never goes as you plan. And then look at your whole week. When you want to start with something, don't just think, well, this day I didn't walk like I intended to, so now I'm not going to walk. Or now I'm going to just go ahead and do nothing the rest of the week. Look at your whole week, because your whole week is what counts, not what you did or ate that individual day. Deep breath in now. Exhale, shoulders down. Doesn't that feel good? Now, a lot of people say that they hate to exercise, and I have had personal training clients who told me they hate to sweat. But when you really connect with your body and you find something that you don't, quote unquote, mind, that actually feels really good. Just to move your body and then to give yourselves a little bit of a challenge. So if you ever find steps or anything when you're out walking, just go up and down them. You can even do push-ups against bleachers or steps. Just a little bit quicker now. I like to trick you. I like to shake it up. That's going to be another one of my walk casts about shaking it up. Because we're going to finish strong. So deep breath, shoulders down and back. I took this workshop from NASM years ago, and it was actually a really fun workshop. And we were doing some tubing exercises, and the guy who taught the class was goes, lift those boobies and release it down. So we have squeeze your shoulder blades in the back, but he's like, lift those boobies. I'm like, okay, I'm going to lift those boobies. Good. So hang on to that pace now. You want to really feel those legs kind of stride. Listen to the birdies if you can hear them. So remember now, when we get back, if you can, make a little note for yourself, right away, because if you're anything like me, you're going to forget. So make little notes for 2 columns. Let's just say you're trying to exercise more and maybe you want to lose weight. So make little notes for this coming week, starting like today or tomorrow, what you can do to start. What can you do to start, small? Because if you love carbs like me and you feel sick if you don't eat carbs, if you go on a keto diet, I can almost guarantee that you're not going to make it very long because it's not doable for who you are. You have to pick something that's doable for you. I like chocolate. So I always have to, if I'm going to, sometimes I have to restrict my eating more because sometimes, like I said in my previous song, I'm a lazy girl sometimes. But if I have a little bit of chocolate, then I just feel happy. Chocolate makes me happy. Hold on that pace now. Lift the chest, shoulders down. Give yourself a smile. If you're not the crazy person walking around with a microphone, that can slow it down a little bit. We're going to start wrapping it up. So remember to start small. You're going to start with something that's manageable for you. And that goes with other things that you're trying to do. Let's say you want to ride, a 50K bike ride. So you would just start out not up a mountain. You would start out with 10 minutes around your neighborhood or flats, 20 minutes flat. And then later on you could find a little bit of hills and you can try that little by little. If you want to paint your house, you probably wouldn't decide you're going to paint the entire house in one day. You would start out with, especially if you're learning to paint, because I'm not good with painting, you would just start somewhere small with a tiny little paint can, so you don't, ruin the big paint can. You would just start, okay, I'm just going to do this wall like that. Okay, that looks good. Okay, and then the next day, you can do another area, and then you can do an entire room. Just start small with that. If you're starting a new career, you don't blast onto the scene, at full throttle and outpace or outsell everybody. You start small, and you have to start with smaller steps with everything you do. Or you start with less than optimal, so you can't get to your spinning class, then what else can you do? And you don't want to eat the whole loaf of bread, so probably you don't even have really good bread in the house. You have really crappy bread that you don't like. That would be a way of starting. Because my bread, like really good bread, homemade bread, is like my trigger. I will eat so much bread. I will not eat Wonder Bread, store-bought bread. So I can have that in the house, and I'm not going to eat it. But when my son bakes this delicious, hard crust outside, soft inside, beautiful, amazing smelling bread, it's everything I can do not to lock him out of the house and eat all the bread. So starting small also means starting with things that, outsmarting yourself, faking yourself out. That's part of getting started with anything. Okay, slow it down a little bit more. So when you get back, you're going to do a little bit of stretching. And then you're going to make little notes for yourself. You can even get a really cute notebook, because I like cute things, and little colored pens or something. You could just make that your little notes thing for the week. You can doodle on it, almost like a bullet journal, except not with all those other requirements. Now, I don't understand those lines and all that stuff. I don't have the patience for that. Slow it down a little bit more. But if you don't make a plan and a backup plan, because life will always try to throw something, right at you, then it's going to be much harder to get started. And then after you've been going on for a while, you've been doing it for a while, then you don't have to plan quite so much. You don't have to make that many backup plans. But it's always good to have with everything in the back of your mind. Slow it down a little bit more. Deep breath in. And I'll see you next time.